Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 for our All Elite Wrestling Safe. 3 weeks away from AEW Revolution. Just 18 more days to be precise. I'm excited for it. The card is pretty much all set, ready to go. And on this episode, we're just going to keep on trucking along and get our storylines all ready and set for the pay-per-view. So we'll have a quick little recap of the storylines going on right now. FTR, the Hardys, 67 heat at the moment. Not too bad. In a circle, Young Bucks need some big improvements. 72 at the moment. We would like to get this to 80. Darby versus Moxley. So far, so good. Some good promos. 84. I'm a little surprised that this is going so well. I don't expect this to stay at 84. I probably expect this to maybe bottom out at maybe 75. But hey, we can keep it at 84. That's going to be a good match. Kenny Omega versus the Elite is our next one. To be specific, it's Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega at the upcoming pay-per-view. At the moment, the storyline hit 71, pretty low. I feel like if we really start going Cody and Kenny back and forth on the mic, doing some promos, maybe some matches with them involved, I feel like that will get this storyline up and running. Kenny and Adam Page having a 71 rated match brought this one down a little bit. Bringing in the Good Brothers so far hasn't quite worked. But I think so far so good. And, look, we can just get a couple more good segments here. I think we can boost this up into the high 70s, maybe low 80s. It might be a little bit too late to get it that far, but if we could, that'd be fantastic. Miro versus Park. So we had that match on the last episode of Dynamite. It was a 62 rated match. They just didn't have any chemistry. It just didn't really work. Now a three-way brawl broke out between Archer, Miro, and Park in the last episode. So a three-way match is pretty much set there. So a triple threat, I think that'll work out a lot better. Who will win that one? I don't know. But this is going to be, I think, the best way to go. Try and elevate all three guys at the same time. If it works, fantastic. MJF and Sting. We finally had Sting get a little bit physical on the last episode of Dynamite when he pushed down MJF. He had the bat in his hand to protect himself from Wardlow, and that was an 86 angle. 83 so far for this storyline, and this has been going on for quite some time. It's been a really long-term storyline. It started off as Moxley versus MJF. Now it's really, MJF and Sting. MJF's kind of carrying the storyline. He's really kind of just promoing heavily here, and obviously that's going to work. But now it's starting to transition into Sting being a little bit more open to actually potentially wrestling against MJF or doing something with MJF. So maybe on this episode of Dynamite coming up, we might have MJF challenge Sting to a match and see what happens there. Moving up the card, just kind of building some mid-card guys. 50 storyline hit for that one. Nyla and Big Swole, 27. Proud and Powerful, Jurassic Express. So far, so good for this one. 65, it's still early days, but if we can keep it in the 60s, that'd be great. Starks and Cardona, that'll pretty much will finish off maybe this episode. We might have the rematch, and that'll be it. The Acclaimed of Varsity Blondes is benefiting from other teams being involved to elevate the heat, but so far, 55 is pretty good. Dark Order, 37 for that storyline, not going so well, a little bit down as of late. And Thunder Rose and Britt Baker, 49 for a women's storyline is pretty solid, and considering the segments are mainly around the 50 mark, that's pretty good. So, storylines are going pretty well. I think Revolution will be pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the card. Maybe, I suppose maybe we could have one more big match, but I guess when you think about it, Kenny and Cody should be really good. MJF and Sting, I hope, will be good. Young Bucks Inner Circle will be great. I think the only one maybe I'm a little bit disappointed with is Moxley and Darby. But if it does elevate Darby Allin, if it does get him closer to 50 pop, if it really does try and promote him up the card a little bit more, then the risk will pay off. It'll be worth it. So I suppose that's where I'm a little bit disappointed that we couldn't get one more major match involved. But, if it is a hardcore match or whatever it's going to be, that might really elevate it, and it might still hit 70 plus. It might be 75. We don't know, but that's kind of the only disappointing thing I'm probably thinking about in regards to this card, because, Hardys and FTR, that'll be a strong match. The triple threat should be good. There's some good stuff there. So we've got a Battle Royal coming up. I think we'll have all those guys in the moving up the card storyline. That will involve them. Maybe the winner gets a TNT title opportunity. So that will involve a lot of the guys in the card too. And who knows, that might do okay as well. But as for the other pieces of news, we'll have a quick little recap before we get to that. So our last Dynamite was 68 rated, 500 in attendance, of course, 1.05 TV rating, 791,000 viewers. Pretty good. And we covered a few of the storyline things that we talked about a second ago, but we're trying our best at the moment to get every show as close to 70 or better as possible. I feel like that's got to be our new goal. We've been stuck around the 60s for so long. We're not really growing as a company because of that. Our size of the company started at 63, 65 in the southeast, and we're 64, 65 in other areas, but still only 66 in the southeast. So that's only really 1 point we've gained in the series. At one point we were 67, but we dropped. So now it's time, I think, to really ramp it up. We've got to start hitting 70s, and that's going to start this episode, I hope. I really do. Around the world, we've got AOP, they've left, WWE, Jerry Lawler, looks like he was going to go, but they've offered him an extension. Kyle O'Reilly's got an extension as well. He'll stay with the WWE as well. One of our broadcasting deals is about to end, and thank goodness for that, because I signed a really bad broadcasting deal, so that'll actually help us save about $100,000 a month once we get rid of that broadcasting deal. So that was my stupidity, and I got burned on that one, but it's nearly over, so that will give us a bit more money. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our first show of the episode. Backstage incidents, what's going on with Eddie Kingston and Sting. Eddie Kingston was just on his phone far too much. Sting not happy. And we got Art Anderson and Terrence Dudley. And Art Anderson giving him a bit of a helping hand of his psychology, which is always good to see. Now we'll jump in, All Elite Wrestling Arena. I really wish we could start doing some other arenas. I really wish we could just have the fans in. There's such a temptation just to go, you know what, stuff COVID, let's just do it. But stick to the guns, keep it realistic, one place at all times. Alright, let's show this episode of AEW Dark. Okay, AEW Dark, let's take a look. On the pre-show, Tay and Anna teamed up to take on Hirsch and Bates for 29. Best in the match was actually Layla Hirsch for 29 rated. Anna Jay second best, 27. We gave the win to Anna and Tay. Sean Spears defeated QT Marshall for 38. As Spears had hit a 37, QT 33. Serpentico made his AEW debut, for our save anyways. He took on Matt Sydal for 40. Matt Sydal 47, Serpentico 23. His gimmick was rated as being great. So that's a good start. Obviously Chaos Project, we've officially got them. We got Luther, yay, Serpentico. Look, they're just going to be a low-end tag team. Luther, he can't wrestle on Dark. He refused to. I couldn't convince him otherwise. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue, I suppose. But, they're there. If someone needs to take a loss, we've got them available. We opened up the show with Tony Schiavone, Eddie Kingston, and Orange Cassidy. So Schiavone announces that there will be a battle royal for Revolution, and the winner will get a TNT Championship opportunity. Eddie Kingston interrupted and kind of promoted about how he's going to win it, and there's no one who's anywhere near him. No one's in his league. Orange Cassidy interrupts and says, look, me and you, let's do it, one-on-one. Let's have a match. So, Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston set up for the main event later on tonight. 56 rated for that angle. Pretty good. Bear Country made their debut against the Lucha Brothers for 55. Bronson 19, Boulder 17. Penta 61, Ray Phoenix 75. My goodness, so good. Yeah, so we brought in Bear Country, again another low-end tag team just to kind of fill in a spot and just, if we need someone to take a loss, they're there. We gave them a Hoss gimmick, just kind of, big guys, not much about them, just kind of big guys. I didn't want them to be badasses because, badass and losing all the time ain't gonna work. But a big guy, it's, there's not much about them, they're just big dudes. Considering they're just going to be a generic team, they're not going to be much about them, they're not going to probably win anything, I think that works. But apparently it didn't really work that well. For Boulder it did, adequate is his gimmick rating. For Bronson, awful was his. So, yeah, 1 out of 2. Miro cuts a promo for 58 on Lance Archer and Park. Not too bad. Still, again, Miro a little underperforming, but 58 is okay. Jade Cargill makes her first appearance a part of AEW, as there is a hype video hyping up Jade Cargill and potentially her debut coming up soon. Poor for her gimmick, so not a great start for her either, so not a great night for our new gimmicks. And we will get her some wrestling stats and we will make her wrestle at some point. What else are we going to do with that, you know? Powerhouse Will Hobbs took on Stu Grayson for 36. Will Hobbs 43, Grayson 45, and still no interest in this match, unfortunately, bringing it down to a 36 overall. We gave Will Hobbs the win, which actually could get him a bit of popularity since Stu Grayson has a little bit more than Will. Unfortunately for Stu, Will needs some wins. He needs to beat some guys to try and move him up the card, because he's in a position at the moment where he's just kind of floundering a little bit. We haven't got anything for him just because he's a little bit too low of popularity, so a win here hopefully gets him a point or two as we try and get him to closer to 40. A Big Swole with a promo on Nyla Rose for 37, as Big Swole was mocking Nyla. Worked out pretty well. Let's gain some storyline here, so not a bad promo from Big Swole. And the main event was Cassidy versus Kingston, 51 rated in the end, Kingston 50, Cassidy 52. And Cassidy won via a roll-up thanks to some interference from the other members of Best Friends to help their man, Orange Cassidy, pick up the win. And that gives us a 47 rated show. Okay, the results of Dynamite. We've got the Chaos Project making their debut as a team. Yes, so excited to have them on board. They took on the Best Friends for 43, giving the Best Friends an easy win. Luther, oh my goodness, so good, 19. Serpentico 24, Chuck 50, Trent 52. Luther's back, Evil Doer gimmick, adequate is the rating. Yeah, 19, huh? I think I'm starting to regret bringing him back. Max Caster performs a rap about the Varsity Blondes for 41. Wow, that is impressive, actually. You know, Max Caster doesn't have a lot of popularity. And for him just to have a promo on his own at 41, that's pretty damn good. So there's certainly some big opportunities for the Acclaimed if they can get a bit more popularity. You never know. You never know. That could be a bit of a factor in the tag division. Big Swole defeated Priscilla Kelly for 37. Big Swole 34 and Priscilla 35. Not a bad match. We had Eric Redbeard intimidating the Dark Order to follow his orders. So he's basically telling these guys, hey, you better do what I tell you to do, getting in their face and making them a little bit uncomfortable. 59. So that's a very good segment considering that this storyline's been on the downward trend. This is a big addition to the storyline to try and boost it up. So 59 is very promising. We opened up the show with a 99 rated segment. Cody Rhodes responds to Kenny Omega's challenge and accepts. 99, wow. Arn Anderson's there, Brandy's there, all supporting Cody, trying to get him through this promo. It's emotional. Cody never wanted to have to face one of his good friends and fellow member of the Elite in Kenny Omega. He didn't want to get to this. He wanted to try and resolve these issues with Kenny. He wanted to try and fix these things, make sure that Kenny was happy. He just couldn't do it. So now Cody's going to have to fight Kenny Omega. 99 rated. Superb way to start the show. Good way to follow it up. Park versus Scorpio Sky for a 66 rated match. Park picks up the win, as we wanted to give him a solid win to get him back on track after losing last week to Miro. 66, Park had a 68, Scorpio 46, so pretty good stuff in the end. Pretty happy with that. Lance Archer was watching ringside as well, and post-match, Park invited Lance Archer to the ring to fight. Archer declined, but Miro attacked Lance Archer from behind. 67, gaining some more storyline heat as well. Very, very good. So that storyline's getting back on track, thank goodness. Ricky Starks and Matt Cardona had a one-on-one match, a rematch from a few weeks ago for 43. Ricky Starks picked up the win in this one. Both men performing at 39. So for me, Matt Cardona is pretty much done. I'm not going to destroy his popularity and bury him, But I wanted to give him a couple losses on his way out to Ricky Starks to elevate him. And now I might probably release Matt Cardona and let him go and spread his wings elsewhere. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara had an 85 rated promo on the Young Bucks. We knew it was coming. We've been waiting to do a big promo from mainly Chris Jericho to try and boost up this storyline. We had to do it now. It's either now or never. And an 85 rated segment, fantastic, and hopefully gets the storyline back on track. Luchasaurus took on Santana for 57. And we gave the win to Luchasaurus after Marco's stunt interfered and saved the day to help Luchasaurus pick up the win. So obviously, recently, Santana Ortiz kind of beat down Marco's stunt a little bit. So this is Marco's way of getting a bit of revenge. Luchasaurus sustained a percussive ankle stretch. Now, I'm going to take a stab and say that doesn't sound too bad, but I've been pretty wrong with injuries in the past. So fingers crossed he will be okay, at least for Revolution, because I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Jurassic Express versus Proud and Powerful. I think that's going to be a really good match. Alright, so hopefully that's not too bad. Thunder Rosa signs her contract for her match with Britt Baker and cuts a promo on her as well, 50 rated, advancing that one. The Hardys took on the Hybrid 2 in a 65 rated match. Jeff Hardy, 74. That's pretty good. Broken Matt Hardy, 63. Jack Evans, 49. And Helico, 48. Good stuff here, and this advances the FTR Hardy Boys storyline as well. So really, really good stuff there. Best way to, I suppose, to get FTR and the Hardy Boys that storyline running is just through matches, and this is a pretty solid match, and this is good signs that Jeff Hardy may be able to carry the Hardy Boys into some really, really good heights going forward. 74 was a really good performance. Post-match. Well, last week we had the Hardy Boys attack FTR because FTR refused to fight them. Well, this week FTR, they had a receipt. They wanted to get their revenge. They attacked the Hardy Boys and they jump the Hardys from behind and beat them down. So 68 rated in the end. So that's pretty good. So that's a good couple of segments to help out this storyline. I really believe this is going to be a great match. I would love to think this would be 70 plus. In my eyes, this match would almost be a dream match, an 80 plus rated match. In TW land, I feel like this might be high 60s, low 70s. I'm hoping it's low 70s. Jon Moxley is interviewed by Alex Marvez, and Alex asks Moxley why he won't accept Darby Allin's challenge. 86 for this segment. I was kind of thinking here, well, how do we kind of advance the storyline without really affecting the heat? Because, if we have Darby Allin in a match or cutting a promo, it's going to bring it down. So I thought, okay, let's try and preserve it for a little bit longer. And I figured, why not have Moxley try and explain himself, as to why he keeps ducking Darby Allin. 86 rated. So another really strong angle here. Sting has a segment here as well. He's got a quick little promo, and he is acting as part of, basically being the chief operations manager. He has to address why he put his hands on MJF last week. He has to apologize for doing it, and he has to try and smooth things over and say, look, that wasn't professional. I have a position of power here in AEW. I shouldn't be putting my hands on the talent. So I apologize for putting my hands on MJF. It won't happen again unless I'm provoked. So that's the key there. Unless I'm provoked, it will not happen again. So maybe next week, MJF, he might be a little bit pissed off. He might come after Sting, and maybe, he might throw a punch at Sting, and Sting might have to throw one back. 81 for that one in the end, so another really good segment here. We talked about it earlier. It's really been MJF doing majority of the talking. Now we're going to have Sting fire back and be more involved in the storyline. And the main event was Cody Rhodes versus Carl Anderson. We really went for a big one here. We went for a steal the show. We went for a big all-out match to try and have an overall what would have been a fantastic show if this match had delivered. Instead, it didn't. 67. That's still okay, but I felt like, we're going to get 70 plus here. I really thought it. Cody, 73. He did his part. Anderson, 45. Anderson Callis, not a good combination. I feel like I should have changed that already. And the match was probably a little bit too long for Carl Anderson's liking. He was a little bit gassed towards the end, considering we did try and steal the show, because we have to every single week. I thought this would be a good one. I thought Anderson was a good enough worker to get it done. Cody Rhodes obviously is. And I suppose I was wrong. Carl Anderson didn't quite deliver yet. I also thought it was a good way to kind of get Anderson involved at a high level. In the mix against Cody Rhodes, who needs a big win here. I thought this would be good, and it's a frustrating thing considering we had the 99 rated segment. Now this really will drag that storyline heat down even further. So it's a real shame that this one didn't quite work out. But Cody Rhodes picked up the win, of course, in the end. Post-match though, okay, this is a little bit better. The New Elite ambushed Cody Rhodes. Adam Page tried to save, but it failed, as Kenny, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson all contribute in beating down Cody Rhodes and Adam Page to close out the show. So 81, the New Elite still stand tall despite the fact Carl Anderson took the L. They get their heat back, 81 in the end, and continues to build a bit of tension here between Kenny and Cody. It gives us a 71 rated show. We got there. 70 was the goal. We got there. Unfortunately, the main event didn't quite hit. If it had got 70 plus, I really believe this would have been a very good show. Considering these angles we had, we had a couple of decent matches too. The Hardys and Hybrid 2 was good. Park and Scorpio. So we just needed that main event to deliver, and we would have had a really stellar show. Okay, so the post-match. Let's first of all take a look at Luchasaurus, make sure he's okay. It will be 27-day injury, so this will actually affect his performance at Revolution. So he's able to work through it, but about a 1 month injury, so you might have to think about maybe delaying the match. Revolution's 17 days away, so it's not gonna quite work. It'd be a real shame to delay it though, but it's gonna bring the quality of the match down. Maybe we can transition over to Jungle Boy just having a singles and do the tag match and a Dynamite later. Something to think about anyways. Darius Martin's contract is ending, of course a part of Top Flight. So at the moment he's on a handshake deal, I believe. But I don't want to lose Top Flight, so yeah, they're working with some other companies as well. We definitely don't want to lose Top Flight, so I'm going to offer him a new deal. Hopefully he'll be okay with that. And not much praise there from Cash Wheeler about Serpentico. Sammy Guevara believes Big Swole's charismatic. That's good. And we had a 1.1 TV rating, 831,000 viewers, which is certainly up from what we did. We did a 1.05 last week. So NXT had a 0.9 TV rating, 725,000 viewers. So now with the new scale, we are starting to beat them. 831,000 from us. Pretty good stuff. And NXT had a 72 rated show. We had 71. So pretty good. So I'm happy with that. Happy to be winning. Happy to actually be competing with NXT and right in the mix there. Let's take a look at the popularity changes. So Cody Rhodes, 69 popularity. I feel like there might be some slight improvement from him. You'd have to expect it after that 99 rated promo. Jeff Hardy, 70 popularity, so he's gone up a point. So he's in the 70s now, which is fantastic. Moxley, 77 now, so he's getting up there as well. Kenny Omega, 71. So all is really well. MJF, 66, not too bad. But a lot of our top guys are actually gaining popularity. So the stars are getting better. Probably, I guess the main concern is the mid-card guys aren't gaining maybe enough. FTR kind of a little bit stagnant at the moment, unfortunately. Lance Archer, 55. I think he's gone up again. So that's a small increase for Lance, which is good. Miro is at 63. So that's been around about what he is. So he's slowly improving, but not too far away. Park, we'd love to get him into the 60s again. And Sammy Guevara is almost into the 60s as well, which is awesome to see. Darby Allin, 46, so he's not too far away from being a bit of a threat. Jungle Boy, 48. Luchasaurus had a big match, he's at 49, so that's some positive news as well. Orange Cassidy, 47. So there is some guys on the cusp of really breaking through. let's go down the card. Ricky Starks had a nice win. He's now at 36 in the Southeast. So he's kind of bled Matt Cardona dry a little bit. And we probably are ready to move Matt Cardona on as well. I don't think we've got too much of a purpose to be keeping him around. Eddie Kingston, 43 pop. So he's gone up a point as well with some good promos, which is obviously great to see as well. Carl Anderson, he's gone up a point after being involved in that big segment and main event match. Luke Gallows has not though. He's at 44. So Anderson goes up. Gallows hasn't yet. You have to believe he's probably not too far away. Well, fingers crossed anyways. And last but not least, down the bottom of the card, my man Luther, he's got 17 pop. Matt Cardona is actually considered to be right down the bottom of the card now. He's at 36 popularity, 35 in the Southeast, which isn't too bad. I mean, he could probably be affording another loss. But you know what? I'm actually going to be somewhat nice to Matt Cardona and not completely ruin him. I'm going to release him and let him walk away and go somewhere else. So Matt Cardona is gone. He's done his job though, put over Ricky Starks, and now has, I think, given Ricky Starks the platform to hopefully become a bit of a star. Will Hobbs, no real change for him despite the win over Stu Grayson. So that's that. So that's some good news. The main event guys are on the rise, as we said, which is obviously fantastic. Storyline heat, Inner Circle's improved. Moxley and Allen's still good. Kenny and the Elite didn't quite get what we wanted. It's back down to 70 because of that bad match. I don't know if Cody would have a better one with Luke Gallows. Maybe. You have to believe no, but yeah, you never know. But things are going well. 17 days away from Revolution, so a couple more weeks of Dynamites until we get there. And once we do get there, I'm really believing this will be the best show we have put on to date. It's also exciting. We've got some new talent. We saw Bronson and Boulder in action, which is always good. And Jade, we got a chance to see her. So she's going to come in with 30 popularity. We'll give her some wrestling stats. I don't really know what the plan is for her in particular. Is she just going to come in and start dominating off the bat as a wrestler? I mean, that's probably not a bad idea. She's got 30 popularity. It probably could work. But as a manager, that's also another option. But again, who's she really going to manage? She could manage another woman. And if anything, she's probably going to overshadow another man, unless it really is a Shaq, someone who's a giant. Maybe Will Hobbs and Jade Cargill could have worked, but, Will Hobbs is a heel. Lance Archer's another big guy he's taken. There really isn't too many other big guys that could probably work with Jade, because I feel like Jade, if she's with someone who's smaller, she's going to look way better than them because she's in tremendous shape. So I don't think, you couldn't put Joey Janela with her, for example. It would look ridiculous. So you have to kind of think about that. And I don't think there's too many options there for us. So we'll have to think about it. But nonetheless, Ross is going pretty well. Good to see some fresh faces, and so far so good for some of them. And we are starting to get some of those new guys over. Ricky Starks not too far away from being a player on this roster, and a few mid-card teams and singles superstars starting to really get there as well. So we'll leave it at that. We'll come back next time with another episode as we still continue to build towards Dynamite, build towards Revolution with the next few Dynamites. Looking forward to it. Hope you join us for those ones. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it and subscribe to make sure you do not miss the upcoming episodes. And I'll see you all next time.